So, so first week quizzes, they're right here. And what's due by next Thursday? Syllabus agreement, right? Everybody okay there? Syllabus quiz is going to be due by next Friday. Also, your safety quiz and your dress code agreement, these will be due by next Friday. But the syllabus agreement is due. We usually do the second class, but like I said, this is a short turnaround. We only have one class this semester, so we'll make it due next Thursday. Everybody okay? The syllabus agreement. And then the syllabus quiz and the syllabus quiz, the safety quiz, and the dress code agreement will be due next Friday, but it's already on the calendar. We'll look at that in a minute. This is course assignments. So in this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 assignments to start off with, and the due dates are already up here. So when you look at the assignments, they're there, and they'll also be up in the course calendar. These are previous tests. So this assignment is if you go out, you have to go out and take a previous test before you take test 2. And what you get on that assignment is determined by what you make on your previous test when you take that. Previous test assignment PT2 will be due before test 3, and PT3 will be due on the day of the final exam. The last assignment is to go out there and do the course evaluation. Course handouts. We have a dictionary of terms. This guy's really long. This is something that I've come up with. These are, I think there's symbols in here that you'll have to learn, 70 meter standards. Symbols, so we deal with a lot of symbols. So a symbol is when we use one thing to represent something, right? So we have several ways, and the book covers this real well of creating drawings on people, how people hook things up. Everybody's hooked up TVs and stuff like that, and you get what we call a pictorial drawing. What do they do on a pictorial drawing? They actually draw pictures of everything out there and show you how to connect that up. In electronic circuits and electrical and all the trades, you cannot draw pictures of everything. So what do we use? We use symbols, and then we use different formats. We use a format here we call ladder diagrams. We'll show you that, and it's just nothing but symbols. And then you'll use those ladder diagrams to connect your circuits. And also, in this class, you won't have to design any. Everything's given to you. Lecture slides. So these are all the lectures we'll be doing. So the one we'll go in today is basic electricity and transformers. You pick on this, and these lecture slides are up here. They're pretty in detail, but still not like being here, right? But we give them to you in 2 formats. We give you a full-blown format, which is the actual slides, and then we give them to you like this, that you can print off. And what we do is we have the lecture slide. Beside each slide, we give you a place to put what? Notes. So most of the students that really excel in the class, this is what they do. They'll print these off, and then while we're going over the slides, what they do, they make their own little what? Notes out the side of them, but that's still up to you. You don't have to do that. But they're available. And these are all the chapters we're going to be going, and these are the order we're going to be going through them. So we'll start off with basic electricity. Then chapter 1, which is basically a read and do on your own. So there you go, you got to use the book, right? Basic electrical safety, most of these are going to be done by you with your textbook. And then chapter 4 deals with symbols. So basically we'll do electrical here. We'll glance through with these, and then there'll be labs that you'll have to do, but you'll have to have your book, right? Everybody understand that, or access to a book. Electrical symbols. In chapter 5, logic, contactors and motor starters, control devices. And some of these we'll have to skip around a little bit to actually cover some things so we can get to know how to reverse these things, and then timers and counters. And that's the last thing we'll talk about in this class. And all the lecture slides are already up there, guys. Oops. Laboratory, this is where the lab procedures are here, and then plus one of the labs we do is we're going to do a lab on a motor nameplate, and we'll use this. And all this is just a copy of the nameplate that's on the motors that you'll be using this term, and understanding all the stuff that's on there, you know, what everything on there means. That's one lab, and this is the actual lab procedures. You have your own copy. I'll give you out a copy in class, but if you lose it, you can do it shows you the labs you're going to do. It shows you, we don't put due dates on like because different groups run at different speeds. And then one group might do real good on these and they go real fast and they slow down. Another group might be just opposite. So basically, we don't really have due dates on the calendar for labs. What I do is when the last circuit is signed off inside that lab, I'll put the due date on your lab form. And I'll show you when your labs are due. So we have a couple of homework labs, and the information that you need for those will either be in your textbook or will be up here, right? So the first one, the first couple of labs like you do on safety and stuff like that, that information is going to be in your textbook. Horse test. So here's our test. Test 1, 2, 3, and test 1, 2, 3 in the final exam. They're up here, but you can't access them until this date to take them, right? And that's up on the calendar. Previous tests, this is where those previous tests will be. So once we get test 1 out of the way, what will I do? I'll put it up here. And you can start playing around with that thing and taking as many times as you want to. And then I expect, what I expect is on test 2, I expect all the people to get all the questions that came from what? Test 1. But that never happens. Web links. This is a link to my YouTube site. Like I said, these lectures I'll upload. I usually upload them on Friday. It takes about twice as long to upload them as it does to record them because once it's uploaded, they have to convert it over to their format. So e-withdrawal, so here's e-withdrawal right here. So if you need to withdraw from the class for any reason, you do it right here, right? We try to keep you from doing it just because you're not excelling in the class. Because even if you have to repeat the course, if you drop out after the first test, that means everything after the first test is going to be new the next time you take the class, right? If you can hang on to that last stage of withdrawal, then everything that you come back and retake the course is going to be a repeat, which means you've what? You've heard it before, and maybe it'll make a little more sense the second time around. And this is where you click on course evaluations. It's not working right now. For some reason it comes up. I need to figure out what's going on there in LSSC's homepage if you want to go there. So these are web links. So that's a new Blackboard. And what's the first time you need to do to log on? You need to go to where? Yeah, go to Lawson State's website and then, and click on what? Current students. Click on Blackboard and it'll tell you what to do. What's your username? It's your email address minus the @lawsonstate.edu. That's going to be your username, which is usually your first initial, last name, followed by the last 4 digits of your student ID number, and your default password will be your birthday, month, day, year. You got to enter 2 digits every time. So it's just like the original Blackboard the first time you log on. How do you change your password up there? I have no idea. If you can change your password, I don't know. Like I said, this is all brand new. We don't do attendance on here, even though there's an attendance column, because if I did attendance in Blackboard, I would have to redo it in what we call the Alliance system. So I'm not going to do the attendance here because I'd have to double that. And you can look and see the names of everybody on the class, by the way. So this is the view you should get. Pretty close to what the old Blackboard was. What I tried to do was try to set it up like the links on the left-hand side of the Blackboard. So just about everything that was on the old Blackboard should be in the same order here. Have got any questions? on the Blackboard site. It's going to be an experience, guys, but like I said, we tried to make it as close. I tried to make it as close to the sites that you were in last semester. Calendar, I didn't show you all that, and so it's up here. So that's course calendar. By the way, stay away from this when you're in a course, because this will take you back. So this will take you back to the home page for the course. You'll see that? This will take you to the what? Course calendar. You got two views. So here it will come up, if you go to month, which I like better, it shows you right now that the syllabus agreement is due on the what? 16th. Assignment 1 is due on the what? 17th. The 24th, you got two assignments due. You got assignments 2 and assignment 3. Test 1 will be on the what? 28th. Assignment 4 is due on the 31st. Assignment test 2 is going to be on the 11th of February. Then assignment PT1 is due. So that means before you take test 2, you're supposed to go back and review what? Test 1. And the grade you get on this one will be determined on the last attempt. So your previous test is kept up to keep up with your highest grade. And then on this day, what I do is I look at that grade, and that's the grade you'll get on that assignment. So if you make a 50 on that, you're going to make what on this assignment? A 50. And I cannot understand that, because how many times can you take those previous tests to get the highest grade? And not only will it help you on the next test, it will also give you a good grade on these assignments. And assignments are what, 13% of your grade is over a letter grade. Last day to withdraw, test 3, PT2 is due, and then this is when your course evaluation is due, before test 3. I required them before, and if you don't do that, these tests are timed. By the way, test 3 will be given, that will be the test, we'll give that at the start of class. All the other tests will be given at the end of class. Test 3 will be given at the start of class. And why? Because the final exam is going to be the next week. And why I give test 3 at the start of class is so we can go over it that day, right? So instead of going over to the next class, we'll go over test 3 that day. And make sure you've got no problems with that. And then if you've been taking these previous tests all along, you need to get for the assignments. But now all you'll have to really do and go back and review is what? Test 3 before you take the final. And you've got a copy of the final. There's really no reason for anybody to fail the final. If you do what? If you study. If you don't study, then you're going to fail it. And the last day withdrawal is here. It's the 26th. So this is what you should consider, because we've already covered everything that we're going to cover by test 3. And so that means if you have to repeat the course, if you have to repeat it, it's going to be a repeat of the whole class, right? You understand that? If you drop out after test 2, then you're going to have to learn new material to get to test 3, right? You understand that? So try to hang in there as long as you can. And even if you don't do real well on tests, you can still pass the class, because labs are what? 35%. So that's 3.5 letter grades. And then your assignment. So we've had plenty of people pass the test, pass the class that didn't do good on all the tests but the final. You got to do good on the final, right? You understand that? And I can't understand why people don't do good on the final. And then our final exam, we already know this, so everything's scheduled. So here's the final exam right there in PT3, which would be test 3, going back and taking previous test 3 before the start of the day on the final. Everybody okay there? So you pretty much well know the way things are. And anytime I make an update on the calendar, so I might add to these, but this is the basic calendar so far. So you know where the tests are going to be given. You know when the assignments are due, right? You understand that? How many of y'all instructors do that? All of them? Not many, right? So that's the Blackboard side. Anybody got any questions on it? Like I said, I tried to set it up about like the original site. Now we don't have very many power plugs in here, people. So there's very few 120 volt outlets here.